What's up, guys? It's your boy Zawoki back with another crime video, but today is a little bit more closer to home because this happened in my state, not even less than an hour and a half away. A school shooting has occurred. Everything, it's not quiet, but it's not threatening anymore. To the point where the shooter is not at large. The shooter is no longer with us. But we're going to dive down a little bit of this rabbit hole when it comes to school shootings and so forth. What to see, what to reach out to, what are the red flags to look for and so forth from a couple channels that we are going to watch here. So before we go any further, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel by hitting that whiteboard icon down at the bottom right. Hit that bell icon next to it. So when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that I've posted that video. And then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And again, I thank you also very much for the love and support that you guys do show on my channel. I am so blessed to have every single one of you. And I want you guys to take what I'm about to talk about with a grain of salt. I'm not saying I hate any person. I'm starting to find out that I love a lot of people. So when I say I'm not stereotyping, okay? I don't want to stereotype because I am nowhere racist, sexist. I think all genders, man and female, can do what they can do with limitations. There are things that men can do better than women, but there are things that women can do that can do better than men. It's give and take kind of thing. But when it comes to race, there's no reason for race or racism and so forth. And when I hate to see people stereotype the African Americans because of something, it's like, how dare you do that? It's not right. We're all the same inside. The color of our skin has nothing to do with who people are because we are all human. We all make mistakes. No one is perfect. The only perfect one that we have is the big man upstairs. But I want to make this very clear that I am not, as they say, transphobic or against transgender. That's not what I'm saying. What we're about to watch, because the shooter was transgender. Because what I am looking at now is I'm not supposed to judge. I'm not supposed to. It's just something that I've been told by scripture. And again, for those that don't believe in all that, I understand. But you don't have to, for one, watch me if you don't want to. That's your prerogative. But I'm trying to start looking more into my faith and so forth. Because, I mean, a lot of us still don't know what's beyond death. And I would like to find out about it and find out if I'm going to heaven or hell, or if I'm doing the right things, if I'm following the right, and so forth. I am human. This person was human, but they did it in a complete wrong way. So again, I want to reiterate, I am not any hate on anybody. I want to make that very clear before we go any farther. So, looking into this school shooting that happened in Minneapolis at a Catholic school, what I've been hearing is that this person knew the layout. They knew because apparently their mother was a worker there. Again, that's not completely fact checked yet, but that's what the rumor is. But this man was able to get so much ammo, so many rounds, clips that people should not be getting. Your standard mag, I can't remember, in an M4, I think it's like 26 to 30 rounds. This man had mags that could hold 50 to 100 in one sitting. This man had 5.56 rounds. That's military it's different between civilian to military, but the way that I'm seeing what he had, this man had 5.56 rounds. I could be wrong. Looking at what we're about to watch here. I'm actually going to put it up on the screen while we're talking. So I'm not going to have the audio because he does cuss and I don't want that on my channel. But this man had an AR-15, a shotgun. I mean, look at how many rounds this guy had. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 normal standardized mags. And then he's got a bigger one. And then he's writing in German, or not German, Russian, about being an FBI type Russian, I don't know. But there's so many bad things that are written on these. It's just grotesque. This is not mentally stable. And that's where we need to look into, like, I believe in the amendment of owning your own personal firearms. I'm pro-gun, pro the right to have a gun, but you need to do it the right way. And what I say is a mentally check. I don't know, the way that they're doing it nowadays, I feel like we're failing our future kids or the future of our species because we're just letting people have this type of crap when they're mentally not stable. And again, I'm not saying that because this person was transgender. I'm saying because they weren't mentally checked. How in the hell at 22 years old did this man get all this stuff? Look at this. He's blaming it on everybody else. He blamed it on his mother. He blamed it on the president. He blames it on whatever have you. And he's making jokes, live, laugh, and love. And he's just, should be a way to make sure that this is completely investigated per person. Just ridiculous. I'm not going to look at all of this, but he's got satanic stuff on here and just the amount of stuff that like, do you know how much money is here? A standard AR-15 like this, 14 to 5 grand, depending on all the attachments you put on it. This man didn't really have a lot of stuff in there, so I'm probably thinking this is at least a couple grand. I mean, it depends on also the wear and tear on the weapon, but he's got, it's not really a ACOG, it's probably a sight that you put on a airsoft gun. But look at this. You can't tell me his mom didn't like go through his room. You are, as a parent, you should be going through your kids' rooms. I know about personal space. I mean, everybody's different, but I feel if you want to make sure that your kid is in the right direction, the right area, the right way to grow up and be a civil human being that contributes to society, is to check on their welfare. Ask how they're doing. Putting locks and all that jazz onto weaponry if you have it. And these gun places, these gun stores should be making it harder so that mentally unstable people do not get weapons. And this man, this person, the coward they are, fired into the building through the stained glass windows, not even looking at who he was killing. As of right now that I know of, it's an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. There are 20 more that are in critical condition. We just started the new year of school. My kids start next week. And I'm literally having to sit here and talk to my kids how to get away, how to protect yourselves, how to do this and that, so that if something happens to this direction, that they will hopefully, this man made a piece of wood too, that he was going to put on the back of the door, so that if they were trying to come in, this would have set off. He was making explosive device, putting Garfield on the end, like he's thinking this is funny. I don't know if I'm wrong or if you agree with me or what have you. I would surely like to know your thoughts about this. It's very worrisome. We're not going to look at that. But let's look into a couple of the videos that I've seen that are part of the news broadcasters.
The gunman, Mariel, what can you tell us?
So 2 dead, up to 20 victims in shooting. He just sprayed into the building.
Yeah, good morning, Heather. So we're actually in downtown Minneapolis right now where this witness works to catch.
I know exactly where she's at. I was literally in Minneapolis 2 weeks ago.
Up with him after he saw or he heard these gunshots ring out this morning on his way to work. He lives in the Armitage neighborhood, not many blocks from where this shooting took place at Annunciation School. Here's what he had to say of what he heard this morning around 8:20 this morning.
There was 2 cars in front of us that just stopped in front of the school. So we were like the 3rd car behind. And I saw a man running up the street the other way, and he was frantically running, like he was running for his life. And so that kind of alerted me that something was wrong. We heard probably about 15 to 20 gunshots in about 30 seconds. So we just booked it. We took a left. We jumped on Harriet. You know, we drove by and we said, "Are you okay? Do you want to come in the car with us?" And he said, "Yes, please." He's like, "Someone's shooting at me. Someone's shooting at me." And so we get in the car and we just ask him what's going on. He said that a man dressed in all black was firing shots, and he didn't see anything else besides what he was wearing, but he hit the ground. His hands were all beat up from hitting the ground so hard. Then he got up and he said, "I have to start running. I have to go."
I'm not going to lie. If I hear of a shooting, or if I'm within a vicinity of a shooting like this and I'm able to help, I'm going in. I'm saving as many people as I can, because I'm not going to get into it, but I'm going to save as many people as I can.
So learning more about what this person witnessed, he said that this runner got in his car and he brought him to safety to his home. He said that because the runner was running outside the school and saw this gunman, I asked him, "Well, was this shooting taking place outside?" And the runner told this witness that the gunman was shooting in the parking lot near the school. Again, police will, I'm sure, confirm all of this later, but this is just what the runner told this witness.
H-A-R-A. I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. Good afternoon, and thank you all for your patience as we continue to gather the facts in this investigation into this truly unthinkable tragedy that happened here earlier today. I want to make sure that we are providing the most accurate information possible, particularly as we speak around our victims. At this point, we know we have a total of 19 victims from this tragedy. 2 were young children, ages 8 and 10, that were sitting in the pews at Mass.
And now they're not going home to their parents.
When they were shot and killed. They were pronounced deceased on the scene. There were another 14 children between the ages of 6 and 15 that were injured by gunfire. There were also 3 adults in their 80s that were parishioners here attending Mass that were also shot in this incident. The families of all of the children that have been affected have been notified. The coward that shot these victims took his own life in the rear of the church. That coward has been identified as 23-year-old Robin Westman. No prior criminal history. As to the weapons used to perpetrate this horrific attack, there was a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. All 3 had been lawfully purchased by the shooter. At this stage, we believe that the shooter had acted alone. There is no indication of other suspects directly involved in carrying out this attack. Our investigators are working with other agencies in the process of executing 4 search warrants. One is for the church itself, where this crime occurred. The other 3 are residences nearby in the metro.
You know what I think is funny too is technically they always say that our brains continue to develop until we're about, what do they say, 25 to 26. Then why are we able between the ages of 18, when you can technically legally own a firearm in certain states, I think it's different throughout the United States. Why is a person at 23 able to purchase a firearm just nilly-willy? I think there needs to be harsher, or not harsher, but it should be harder to purchase your weapons, but you should be able to own a weapon. But like, I don't know. What do you think? Comment your thoughts. I feel like there needs to be some, like, not all of us can be doctors. It's hard to become a doctor because, one, you got to be smart. You got to be intelligent. You got to be patient. You got to be all this kind of stuff. Not everybody can fire a weapon. Some are scared of it. Some are not mentally. There are people that can't physically drive because their mental stability, their mental, how they are. So why can't we do that with weapons? Does that make sense?
That are related to this shooter. Additional firearms are being recovered from those 3 residential locations as we speak. We are also aware of a manifesto that the shooter had timed to be released on YouTube. This manifesto appeared to show him at the scene and included some disturbing writings. That content has since been taken down with the assistance of the FBI, and it now remains under active review by our investigators. Jeez. We know this community is reeling and is in pain. I want to ensure everyone in our community, this parish, all of the families of...
And don't blame it on the gun, okay? There is a guy that drove through a festival of how many people, murdered like 65 people. I can't remember the exact one, but there was like so much slaughter. Are you going to get rid of a car? If somebody murders somebody with a bat, are you going to remove the bat? Everybody has their opinions. Everybody has their thoughts. And I'm not saying that your thought is better than mine or mine is better than yours. I just feel that we have some work to do to make America safe. There are people that literally don't want to go outside because they're scared of dying. There are people that are scared of dying in their homes. We shouldn't have that. We should be able to live without the worries of this. I don't know what to label it.
Affected and all of our residents, that all of law enforcement collectively, local law enforcement, our county, our state, and all of our federal law enforcement partners have been here, and we are all working tirelessly to uncover the full scope of what happened, to try and identify a motive why it happened, and whether there are any other further details. We will continue to share updates as the investigation progresses.
I hope the other victims are okay.
And we remain committed to being as transparent as possible while protecting the integrity of this investigation. In a moment, I will take... Thank you, Archbishop. As I mentioned, obviously, the investigation continues in its preliminary stages. I will take some questions now, and additionally, we will let you know when we can provide some updated information.
How are the injured students doing? What are their conditions?
The question from Matt was, how are the injured students doing? I believe all of them have their parents with them now, and they are all expected to survive. All of the remaining victims are expected to survive. There is a range.
See, I like this chief. He doesn't sugarcoat it. He doesn't like find a different way to talk about it. He's telling how it is. He's trying to also be respectful, but he's not being secretive about it.
Range of injuries, however.
Chief, you said the weapons were acquired legally. Do we know when
Yes.
and where they were acquired?
I can tell you they were purchased recently.
Chief, can you tell us anything more about a possible motive here? We've also heard reports that the suspected shooter's mother was employed here at some point. Can you confirm that as well?
Okay. So the question was on a possible motive and a relationship to the church or to the school. I have no information to share on a motive other than saying again that there was some sort of manifesto that was timed to come out on YouTube. It's been taken down and our investigators are going through that to try and develop a motive from that. Additionally, there are these 3 search warrants happening in residential locations, and we may very well, find more information.
And I'm not going to lie, I think the mom should be looked at, investigated. She should have. That's why you're supposed to make sure that your kids grow up the right way. If you have a child and they commit a crime, I just feel like the parents should be to blame. Like, I make sure that my kids know that killing is not okay. This is not okay. That's not okay. You shouldn't be doing the D word. You shouldn't be doing this and this and this and this. Like, it's our responsibilities as parents to make sure that they grow up not doing this stuff. And if we fail, then we should be punished. I don't know. Do you believe that? Do you not believe it? Just let me know if you agree or disagree.
Writings that could give some sense to that, but we don't have that now. And I cannot confirm a relationship between the suspect and his family and this church at this time, but that's obviously something we're looking very closely at.
Can you confirm at this point whether it was in fact by the suspect, or you believe at this point that it is in fact from him? And second question.
What was by the suspect? I'm sorry.
Manifesto that you've been talking about.
Yep. So the question was about the manifesto. We do believe it was by the suspect, yes.
And we understand that we've seen some documents about a name change that somebody with the same name as the suspect has filed for a few years ago.
Yep.
Do you believe this to be the same person, that Robin Westman was in fact born with a different name at this point? And can you speak a little bit more about the identity?
Yep. So the question was about the suspect, and he had a name change at some point in the past. I cannot confirm that other than confirming the identity, the name that I gave you, the age. That is the suspect. That's the person that we believe has caused this.
Chief, you mentioned these videos posted on YouTube, seemingly scheduled to be posted right after the shooting. Is there anything that the suspect posted days prior, months prior, that could shed any light on his mindset?
Yep. So the question was, we mentioned that the YouTube videos were scheduled to be posted. Is there anything else in social media that may shed some light into this? We do not have information on that at this time that I'm able to share. However, our investigators and our law enforcement partners are definitely looking at that.
About how many children and parishioners were in the church when this happened?
So the question was how many children and parishioners were in the church when this happened. This was towards the beginning of Mass, so some of the children were already filed into the church and were seated. Others were coming in.
Where people should be feeling almost the most safe that they've ever felt. It's if people believe in what they want to believe, leave them alone. I just don't understand why somebody has to impair. Like for me, I don't believe in Buddhism, but there might be somebody that is a great friend of mine or somebody that I don't know entirely that worships Buddhism. That's okay. But I'm not going to go after them because that's what they believe in. I just think that's so stupid. Like for somebody to believe in something and for you to get upset about it, that's their choice. But when it becomes part of me and you're trying to bring me into Buddhism, I'm not going to be so quiet about it because I don't want you to impede my faith. And I think that's where people are finding the line of where you can't just deal with it. They have to physically do this.
I've heard estimates, but we will release a more definitive number.
Minneapolis police officers have had a tough couple of days. I know we're talking about the children
Yep.
in this incident, but there were several shootings yesterday.
Yep.
How is the resource thing going for you? Are you getting help from other places?
Yep.
And apparently, so far as of the school between now and the past few days, we've had 5 school shootings. I think this one makes 6. Let's just go to school. Why do we have to shoot it? Like, what the?
So Sue's question was
Why can't we live life normal?
resources for Minneapolis police due to the other challenges we've had the last 24 hours. Obviously, this has been the most difficult. The dozens of officers that responded to this scene, many of them are deeply traumatized by what they saw.
I wouldn't doubt it.
As are obviously all of the children, all of the staff members, Father Dennis, everyone who was at Mass this morning. So obviously that has been our number one priority, is to care for the health and wellness of the officers and that responded here. Additionally, obviously, we have responded to other challenging situations and other acts of violence. I can say, in regard to the shooting that happened outside of the high school yesterday, we have arrested 2 people for assisting in that shooting. We have not gotten the shooter yet, but we believe we have 2 people under arrest that were present with the shooter when that happened, and we're making significant progress. There was an additional arrest at a homicide last night that happened on the 2700 block of 3rd Avenue South. That person has not been booked specifically for being responsible for that murder, but we believe that is the person who caused
This is
that.
Minnesota.
No, unfortunately not. Yep.
A lot of the politicians here, the principal and others have said that this can never happen again. I'm just wondering if you have a suggestion for where we start to make sure it doesn't ever happen again.
Agreed.
Yeah, so the question was, where do we start to make sure this doesn't happen again? I don't.
Mental checks, parents being more aware. I mean, you can tell when you see an active parent in a child's life, and you can see where a child doesn't have an active parent in their life. And because when you have kids, your responsibility is to take care of that kid physically, emotionally, and mentally. If you can't do those 3 things, you shouldn't have kids.
I don't have an answer for that at this time.
Chief, we understand from the federals that there is an idea that this might be investigated, maybe it already is, I'm not sure my information, as a hate crime against Catholics. I'm asking you, perhaps, Archbishop, is this a line of investigation that you have open to comment on that?
So the question is this an investigation into a hate crime against Catholics? We don't have a motive at this time. Obviously, we're open to any possibilities at all, but we don't have a motive or anything to suggest that.
If there is any more safety.
Somebody mentioned that he possibly did this because of his hate towards his mom. That it's just, again, alleged.
Any more protective measures are implemented at other Catholic schools throughout the Twin Cities or churches? I'm sure there are massive.
I think schools need to put police in school, unfortunately. Metal detectors, police officers. Like, we need to protect. Unfortunately, it's come to this way that we have to protect the people that are wanting to get an education. Preschool, high school, middle school, college. I mean, you can't even go to the supermarket without wondering if somebody's going to be shooting it up. Concealed carry is a must. If you're able to get a concealed carry to protect yourselves, that's important. You have the right as an amendment.
Is going around right now this afternoon.
Yeah.
It's just a week out from, or a few days before.
Your second amendment, by the way.
Yeah. So the question is the concern for other churches, other schools around the metro. Unfortunately, this is something that our community has been dealing with for some time. The threat of active shooters, the threat of hate crimes at houses of worship unfortunately is not something new here. And of course, our precinct inspectors, our crime prevention specialists are available to work with both houses of worship, churches, and schools that do reach out to assist in any additional security measures or advice that we can offer them.
About that to follow up, are you aware if this is the first time that actually a Catholic mass has been targeted and there have been victims inside a Catholic church during mass? In the Twin Cities, not
in the Twin Cities?
I'm unaware of any other.
Yeah, from the the question was, is this the first time that there's been attack of Catholics at Mass in the Twin Cities area? The Archbishop is unaware of any other attack.
saying that this is being investigated as domestic terrorism. Are you also tracking this?
The question was, is it being investigated by the FBI?
FBI director saying this is domestic terrorism. Is that what you're tracking?
Well, the FBI is here with us and has been a part of this entire investigation, as well as the ATF, other law enforcement. It's being led right now by the Minneapolis Police Department, and we are looking at, obviously, any possibilities from wherever the evidence will lead us from what we recover. Absolutely.
Thank you all again.
So we're going to leave it there. I mean, we could keep diving into this. If you guys want me to make a couple other videos of updates and so forth, let me know down below. But this was a huge tragedy. Definitely upsetting. It's not Trump's fault. It's not God's fault. It's nobody's fault besides the shooter and possibly the mother for not doing her diligence and making sure her son was mentally stable, physically okay. I mean, you're supposed to, I don't know. I feel that it's our right as or not our right, but our jobs to make sure that this doesn't happen. And once they leave the nest, once they move out and they're on their own, then it doesn't become our responsibility. But under the guidance, the care of us as parents while they're at home, it's our diligence to make sure that they grow up in the right way. Let me know your thoughts. You can agree to disagree. That's why God gave us free will and free choice of what we want to come up with. That's what the comments are for. Don't forget to put them down below. Hit the like button for the obvious reasons that hopefully one day that this will not happen as much as it used to, because I mean it happened, but not as much as it does now. Please share with your friends, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Please take care, be safe. As always, keep nerding on, and we will see you guys in the next video.